Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members of the Patreons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it, guys. We're going to take a look on data mines and some other stuff today, showing some of the stuff in the game. There aren't that many things, so it should be a quick video. But first things first, the dev server is still open, guys, which is kind of funny. They actually said that it was going to be closed today at 7 GMT. It's already what, it's like 12 GMT already, and when I'm recording at least, and it didn't close. So kind of funny. Let's expect technically the dev server 2 to start up together with this one. Maybe they will update the dev server, get the new stuff in. Maybe not today, but tomorrow most likely, and have the dev server updated until like the end of the week. Have a clear kind of slow weekend, and then afterwards next week, very early next week, we should see the patch coming up, right? So that's where I think things are going to go. So let's start thanking Oshida and Xabi for doing this type of thing. And let's go, guys. I will leave the link for the Reddit post on the description, okay? First things first, very interesting things. On the GBU side of things, the laser guided stuff, they basically decreased the laser seeker range of these bombs. So now the bomb will start to guide when it's much closer than it was before. So for example, the K500 and the GB500, it's now 4,000 meters. For all these NATO bombs, it is 3,657 meters, and for the GB250, it's 6,000 meters. So very weird, but it maybe makes sense. I don't know. Then we have some changes to the guns and stuff. Not gonna talk too much about it, too many guns to talk about, but there are some big changes. For example, the 76 OQF, for example, much faster speed now, which means less bullet drop. So you can just pause it and take a look. There are some interesting changes there. But on the missile side of things, we have some interesting ones. The Mistral SATCP is getting kind of a buff. So yeah, the booster force is non-existent right now, but the sustainer got increased, and it has less time on the sustainer, but no time in the booster. So it's kind of weird. We have to see the delta V of this thing, but I think it's maybe a little bit worse. I don't know. The only thing is that it's now turning more, apparently. I mean, it's only the stat card change, but when the stat card change normally changes, normally the guidance also changes, as you see over here, added max G load, so on the guidance as well. So it's turning more, you know, and you will see that in another missile as well. Let me just find it. If I'm not mistaken, there are some other changes. Starstreak HVM as well, as you see, 47 Gs, which is kind of insane. The Mistral, as you see over here, same changes as before. So very, very interesting. This is before the 0.27 update that we had on Saturday. So yeah, the Magic 2s have a more max lock angle, which is fun as well. The Igla missile is a little bit turning a little bit more, not by much. And this missile as well, very similar to the Igla. KH-29Ls, basically having a max distance of 10,000 meters. So all the laser guided stuff is basically being nerfed in the sense of the amount of range that you can actually get a lock on. The M54s, they get a max lock angle of 60, so it should be a little bit easier to actually get a proper lock and a fire. The missile, the Stinger as well, got a buff as well, as you see, 13 Gs. And some other changes to it. Starstreak again. That's pretty much it for the missiles, right? It unlocks next tank. Okay, they changed it a little bit of how many tanks you need to research or ships to you know, get the next rank. This is mainly due to the rank 8 being added, right? Of course. Some other changes over here. Didn't find anything too interesting. Some minor armor changes as well. If we go to part 4, nothing too crazy, more loadout changes, tech tree changes, stuff like that, you know. So I'm not gonna mad those and stuff, so I'm not gonna go through with every single one of them. but they are here. And sorry about my voice, by the way. I have a kind of a flu, and some text is over here as well. You can check it out, but some removed ones, some added ones. We have the Sheridan with this 76mm, which is kind of funny. And let me just see what is this. Oh, it's about this thing here. And then we have the interesting one that I found. It's very, very interesting. The most interesting one, I gotta say. They added the loadouts for the Mirage 4000, of course, that I already showed. Now you can take 8 magic tools. The Super 530 can actually be used in like with a third one. And then we have the custom loadouts for that. Aircraft fly model changes, so the multiplier, overload multiplier, actually got increased by a little bit on the F-15. So from Friday to Saturday, the actual fly model of the F-15 was changed a tiny little bit, but the thing is that I already tested this flight model on the performance videos that I did, because they didn't update it after that, they updated before. So it's the performance that you saw in there. It's still kind of a bus, so it doesn't change much. And I have to check the dogfights. It might have been used in the older one, so it might be a little bit better in the dogfights. So yeah, but it doesn't change a lot, guys. It is still kind of a bus in lower airspeeds, and it's perfect at like 700, something like that. So yeah, just remember that. Damage model changes and other stuff. F-15 got the new cockpit, of course. The F-404G's got the ejection seats. New damage model for the Mirage. Targeting pod for the Gripen. Su-27 and J-11 getting bombs dropped separately. The APG-63 now has its own model. Already covered that a little bit, but yeah. And then we have a very, very interesting, I think it's the most important one, that people were complaining about, and they finally added. So the Leclerc Azure, the Leclerc SXXI, the Merkava Mark IV LIC, the Mark IV B, the Mark IV M, the ATMV, the TKX Type 10, all have added stock APFSDSs. So now, it was very funny that it was like an added NATO kind of situation, but for all these tanks, if you go to them, you will see that the stock or the initial APFSDS is already there. So very, very good, guys. This is amazing. It really, really is. It really does help a lot, these tanks. Honestly, I must say that I think every single tank has to have that. You know, even a SEP, even a T90M, all these tanks, they need to have a stock APFSDS round. It doesn't make any sense that you don't have that. I mean, here we have it, but it's weird that they choose specifically some vehicles to have that, right? It doesn't make much sense in my opinion. As you see, the Leclerc as well. Another minor thing that I wanted to show to you guys that I already did in another video, but yeah, you can take 8 magics now with the Mirage with a Super 530. So yeah, guys, now you have stock arm like APFSDS with some of the tanks. Hopefully they add for every single tank. It doesn't make any sense to add for not a lot of them, but anyway, yeah. Yeah, then we have some minor other things over here. Economy changes. They changed the stat card operator for the Su-27 from Russia to the SSR, which is always a good thing. And as you see over here, TKX added NATO APDSFS. So they removed the modification, and then it has that round as a stock, right? And then the economy changing because of that, because you have a less modifications to actually research. So Type 10, as you see, the AMV, Azure, the other Leclerc, and the Merkavas, all getting that. So very, very good, guys. But again, it's, you know, it's still like we're still waiting for one thing, for everybody to have that. And of course, you then have the larger fuel tanks for the Mirage as well, which are quite enormous. You get more fuel outside the aircraft than inside it. Let me just test the, yeah, have basically no fuel inside the aircraft anyway, right? But basically this is it, guys. Some minor things, some bigger things. It is cool to cover it. Let's wait and see if they update the dev server today. Let me know in the comments what you want to see more in the dev server, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye. Subscribe.